Johnson. Okay, you want to give us something? Yes.
Yeah, so we are now in front of the Independence Palace.
Okay.
But original palace was named Notre Dame Palace, was built by French at the
Okay.
time that I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this is the old building.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a traditional building. But
Traditional building.
this building was named Notre Dame Palace, and this
Notre
one
Dame.
is Independence Palace. It's where something changing, and
Okay.
I will tell you about the story. So after the French colonial time in 1954, the Big Binh Phu victory forced to French surrender, and then at the time they signed agreement with Vietnamese government, like from the divide Vietnam into two parts, from the 17th
South.
parallel to the north of Vietnam.
And-
They get independent already, and they follow Communist Party, and Hanoi is the capital in the north. But from the 17th parallel to the south, Vietnam haven't get independent yet. From the day they sign agreement to 2 years later, it will return it to the Vietnamese government. But at the time, America, they took the role of the United States to go to the South Vietnam to help the Vietnamese people get independent, but it's worsened. So they support a lot of things. They sponsor a lot of things to the South Vietnam, force to the North Vietnam, divide Vietnam into two parts.
Two parts,
Yeah.
yes.
And at the time in the South Vietnam, they follow Republican Party, yeah, but it's still under control by America. And the president become the president as a puppet president. Yeah. And at the time, the Notre Dame Palace was changed into Independent Palace because he is the first president in the South Vietnam is Ngo Dinh Nhi.
Okay.
Yeah, but he like the puppet.
Oh.
Yeah, and was under the control by the U.S. So
Yes.
at the time, the Notre Dame Palace was the place for the Ngo Dinh Nhi, Mr. Yi, living and working in the past.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but in 1962, two pilots from opponent force dropped a bomb to that palace
Okay.
to assassinate Mr. Yi.
Okay.
But he escaped.
Okay.
Yeah, and the whole left part of the palace were destroyed. So
Okay.
Mr. Yim, he decided to destroy the whole building
Okay.
and rebuild a new one. So this one is a new one,
New one. Okay.
rebuilt in the same foundation, same position. Yeah.
Positions, yes.
And the Notre Dame Palace at the time was used for the Mr. Yim living, but the person ordered a new one like 1962. The palace here was built in from 1962 to 1966. But one more time, Mr. Yi, he was assassinated one more time in 1963 because he want to make the South Vietnam into like his government.
Okay.
And he issued a lot of conservative policy to the resident here, and a lot of people they conflict. So yeah, and in 1963 he also was one more time assassinated, and he not lucky as the first time he was assassinated by that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second president in the South Vietnam, he has become the president, and he's also the longest president in the South Vietnam at the time. It's Nguyễn Văn Thiệu, Mr. Thiệu.
Two.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you have time to visit inside, you can go over here, to get over here to buy the ticket to go inside. And inside is very big, so it's have around 100 rooms with 3 main floor, 1 terrace, and 1 basement, and a lot of room in the palace related about the Mr. Thiệu and his family.
Okay.
And in 1967, he became the president, and he like in 1975, Trần Văn Hướng, the third president, became the president, but only for 1 week.
Okay.
And
That time.
the fourth is just for only 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah. And the April of 1975, the Viet Cong, you know Viet Cong, right? The Vietnamese soldier follow Communist Party.
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
They try the tank and hit the main gate and forced to Mr. Minh surrender.
Okay.
And he need to he was forced to speak surrender. And at the time, the North and the South Vietnam unified together and become one until now.
Yes.
Yeah, and in that day every year, like April 30 every year, and was chosen as a Vietnamese Liberation Day, and now it's a public holiday in Vietnam.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's coming. this month.
This month, yes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
coming. Okay.
And in July, as I told you, in July 1976, the city changed into Ho Chi Minh City.
Yes,
the city,
yes.
yeah. And the palace here, from Independent Palace, is also changing to Reunification Palace.
Okay.
Yeah. And now the palace is not just for the president working and living anymore. It was used for the tourists visiting, and sometimes it was for the business renting,
Okay.
or some, or they can organize some ceremony of the government. Yeah.
Okay. It's basically it's in public use now.
Yeah. And so the Vietnamese government now, they moved to the north of Vietnam in Hanoi, and now in Ho Chi Minh City they just have the chairman. They work in the city hall,
Okay.
community hall.
They work only for the city, and the center is Hanoi right
Yeah.
now. City center.
Political in Hanoi, Saigon is for economic.
Okay.
Yeah. So now also have a lot of people that use Saigon to call this city. Actually, we use both Saigon and Ho Chi Minh City.
I have seen so many times the Saigon thing,
Yeah.
and I already read about that. When India Mein, I read about that Saigon is the ancient name of Ho Chi Minh City.
Yeah. With Saigon, still in the memories of a lot of people. So
Yes, that's right.
And Saigon is a short name, so easy to call.
Easy to call, yeah. Ho Chi Minh City stuff. That's why they call Saigon simply.
So you want to take a photo here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to.